Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. This is one I thought I would never have to make, but we're here, we're making it, and it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that I'm having to speak about this because, quite frankly, everything I'm going to cover in this video is really just diabolical at this point. It really is just diabolical at this point. Yeah, that's all I can say. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about theatre etiquette because, quite frankly, a lot of people don't know how to behave in a theatre. And that was proven over the weekend. So, as you are all aware, there was a huge riot in Manchester at the Palace where the Bodyguard is currently performing because of this. Yep, a riot, all because of people singing. Just save it till the end. Just honestly save it till the end. And I'm going to be honest, I personally think that this happened because of what I'm going to talk about next. So, as you are aware, the next clip I'm going to show you is circling the internet. It is actually quite disgusting, in my opinion, what was said in this video, so I'm just going to show you that clip now.
Should you be allowed to sing along in the audience at a show? That's the question being challenged by a theatre in Manchester who have banned audiences from singing their production of the Bodyguard musical. Staff are taking this very, very seriously and inflicting these rules. They are regularly walking up and down the aisles before the performance and during the interval with no singing signs. I mean, I can't believe it. I'd be devastated. I'm not even going to go to that show now.
Isn't the whole point of going to a musical that you know, that you sing along to all the bits you know, and then when you don't know the words, you just make them up? I mean, isn't that what everybody does very, very loudly while eating an ice?
Yeah, so people just need to learn about theatre etiquette. As it was said, you don't go to the theatre to sing along very loudly eating an ice cream, with the quotations. But, quite frankly, a lot of people seem that is how it should be, and it shouldn't. It should not be like that. So, I'm going to give a bit of context, because I know I've just been rambling about what this video is about. So, obviously, there was this interview on This Morning from the clip I've just shown you, and Alison Hammond and Vanessa Feltz, I want to say her last name is. I think it's Feltz. It might be... I'm going to go with Vanessa Feltz. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. And Dermot O'Leary. So, they was doing this whole interview, and Alison actually said, oh, well, I'm not going to go to this show now. But I do need to mention, and this is a credit to Alison, she has since apologised. And it was quite a good, heartfelt apology. It's one that I believed when I saw it. Because if you follow me on social media, you would have seen that this absolutely outraged me. This whole situation outraged me to the point where I addressed it so much. I've addressed it on every social media platform I am on. I have addressed it to the max. I have addressed it on my personal Facebook, I've addressed it on TikTok, I've addressed it on Instagram, Twitter, you name it, I've addressed it everywhere. And I'm now addressing it on YouTube. So, yeah. It was a heartfelt apology, but when I saw it, I thought, right, you've apologised on social media, but not everyone has social media. Not everyone is going to see this apology on social media. So, in my opinion, and quite a lot of the theatre community agree with this, I feel like an on-air apology is needed for this. And it's even got to the point that after this riot, Melody Thornton had to post a video on her Instagram addressing this. And that in itself just isn't fair. So, yes, this video is going to be very, very, very evidence heavy. Like, I'm going to be including clips, full credit given, of course. And I just want people to know that this shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case that people are too scared to go to theatres. Like, it shouldn't be the case that people are scared to go to work, because front of house staff at the Palace have even turned around and said they are scared to go to work and have even booked holidays off when certain shows are there because of audiences. And it shouldn't be like that. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's just me who thinks this, but it's known that Manchester is bad for its theatre etiquette. Like, I think there's only a select few of us who live in Manchester, including myself, who do not disrupt the show in any way, shape or form. And it should be like that for everyone. Everyone should just go into the theatre, sit in their seat, and just behave. I've addressed this in videos before. There's a video up on my channel about why I nearly walked out of Rock of Ages, which was a similar situation to this, but not to the higher extent. But honestly, the whole thing has just completely outraged me. It has absolutely outraged me. And yeah. Really, Gizmo? Really? Sorry, the dog's chewing his little play toy while I'm trying to film. He's got a habit for doing this. Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying before the dog distracted me? That was it. Anyway, as I was trying to say before little Gizmo over here decided to distract me, it shouldn't be the case that people feel scared. Theatre should be a safe place for everyone to go. Absolutely everyone. And the fact that these people are getting to the point where riot police are having to be called, it's not acceptable. And can we please say that this show was stopped in 3 different occasions of the show? All because of people singing over the performance. So the worst one was before the big 11 o'clock number with Rachel Marron, which is the famous song, I Will Always Love You. Like, that is known for being the 11 o'clock number in The Bodyguard. Like, poof. Like, if you have seen the Big Night of Musicals performance with Melody Thornton, you will know that it is powerful. If you've seen The Bodyguard, you will know that that song in itself is powerful. And the fact that people were singing over it. In fact, I'm just going to include the clip. I'm just going to include the clip here now. Yeah, as you can hear, no offence, love, but you sound like a wailing banshee. Save it for the professionals at this point. What people do not understand is theatre is not an arena. A theatre is a theatre. It is a lot smaller. An arena is a far lot bigger. It is not a concert, it is a musical. And this is where my next point is going to come into. So, most shows actually provide sing-along performances so the audience can participate. There are screens dotted around the theatre where you can see the lyrics and sing along and interact with the cast as the show is going on. It is not a free-for-all just to... I'm going to swear. This is the first time I'm going to swear on this channel. It is not an excuse to piss around. Is the polite way to put it. And the fact that these women had to be forcibly removed, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. Like, they were full on having to be dragged out. And this one woman was like, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. They have the full authority to remove anyone who's being absolutely ridiculous. And that's right, you guessed it. Here's the clip.
Calm down.
You put the shot
can't do that!
Get a grip of your kids. What are you talking about? You can't do that. You fucking disgrace.
She's getting... He's going to get that.
As you can see from that clip, they are just being absolutely pig ignorant. Absolutely pig ignorant. And it genuinely just isn't fair. It really isn't fair at this point. Like, for the fact that riot police have had to be called and all of the above. This is the most horrendous thing I've ever read about theatre etiquette in my life. Really, really is. And I'm now going to move on to my next point, which is what type of musicals do you see the worst theatre etiquette in? And in my opinion, it is jukebox musicals, because all the songs are well known, people know them, they grew up with these songs, and now they're going into musicals, people are going to the theatre to watch these shows. So you've obviously got your jukebox musicals like Bat Out of Hell, the music of Meatloaf and Jim Steinman. You've then got Mamma Mia, which is the music of ABBA. You've got the Cher Show, which is obviously the music of Cher. Of course, you've got the Bodyguard, which is the music of Whitney Houston. I could go on and on and on. And one thing, the worst thing I've ever witnessed at a theatre with a jukebox musical, it was when I went to go and see the Osmonds last summer, and it was surprisingly at this same theatre. A woman physically stood on her chair. Say this remote is the bottle of wine. She was going, "Ooh, look at me, I love Donny Osmond, woo!" I've just made myself look like a prat, but I don't care, because I need to get my point around. She was stood on the chair, physically stood on the chair. Hun, the chair is for being sat on, not to be stood on. Like, I'm sorry, but if she would have broke that chair, she would have had to pay for it. First of all. Second of all, she shouldn't have been stood up on it in the first place. And I've read a lot of stories that had to do with the Osmonds musical, that people were trying to jump on stage, people were throwing underwear on. Excuse me. And it's like, just behave. Just behave and pack it in and stop making yourself look like an utter prat. If that's the polite way you want to put it. This is turning into a rant now, and I promised myself I wouldn't rant, but it's turning into a rant. So, getting back to the statements. So, Alison Hammond has recently put out this statement, and it was heartfelt. It was a heartfelt, sincere apology, and credit to her for doing it. And then you have Dermot O'Leary's. This, to me, isn't really heartfelt. And fair enough, I'm gonna back Dermot up on this. I have gone and watched the full interview. I have gone back and I have watched it. And fair enough, Dermot was fighting against it. He was saying, "Oh, I wouldn't expect you to do that." Because I'm going to show this next clip, and it's basically of Alison Hammond saying, "Oh, well, you wouldn't expect me to go to Wicked and not belt out Defying Gravity." You can actually hear Dermot say, "Oh, I wouldn't expect you to do it." Like, in fact, I'm going to show up. Here's a clip of that.
I went to see Wicked the other day, and there was absolutely no way. There was that moment where she's flying, she's singing Defying Gravity. Yeah. And do you really expect me not to go, "Defying Gravity"?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't expect you not to do it, no. can I?
So, yeah. Dermot was actually, like, defending the theatre etiquette, if that makes sense. So my problem isn't with Dermot. The one thing that has annoyed me is the fact that Vanessa Feltz has not said anything. She has been completely stum. She's said nothing. And that, to me, is making me think well, did you mean what you said? Or at this point, are you just being an utter cow and just not bothering to address it? And I'm unsure of what days Alison and Dermot actually present this morning, but I do personally think an on-air apology is needed as well. And it's like I said at the start of this video, not a lot of people use social media. They only interact with TV. They only find stuff out from watching TV. Like, they don't use social media. So yeah, fair enough. You have that heartfelt apology off Alison, and then obviously you have Dermot's interpretation of an apology, if that's how you even want to put it. But the problem isn't with Dermot. My problem isn't with Dermot. I feel like he did actually, like, fight against it. The problem is mainly with Vanessa Feltz, who said, oh, well, you expect me to go to a theatre and just be quiet. And that's the basic way that she put it. She went, the point of going to these musicals is to sit there and sing very, very loudly while eating an ice cream. No, it's not. And this is coming from a woman who has been to numerous musicals, who is at pretty much every single London West End press night. She's always at the theatre in some shape or form. And you would think that being sat in a room full of people wanting to enjoy the show, she would understand this by now. But she clearly doesn't. She clearly does not understand what theatre etiquette is. She doesn't understand how to be respectful in an instinct when it comes to theatre. It's just not on. It really just isn't on. And for me personally, I have been to so many shows where there has had to be show stops. There's had to be people thrown out. Like, some of them have just openly left. And some of them you have been absolute prats, like these two women at the Bodyguard were. So, I'm yet to see the Bodyguard in Manchester. I'm hoping to either go tomorrow or Friday. Because when I'm filming this, we're on Wednesday morning. I'm filming this on a Wednesday morning. And I'm hoping to see it either tomorrow night or Friday night. I'm hoping to. And I'm just hoping that the audiences in Manchester have now realised, oh shit, Riot Police were called. We need to get our act together. And I'm hoping I can just enjoy the show. I really am at this point. I will be vlogging, so you will know how my experience went. So, yeah. I think I've practically covered everything that I wanted to say in this video. But I will say one thing. And it contains alcohol. It contains alcohol, what I'm about to say. In fact, no, I haven't covered everything. I've not covered what I think about alcohol. So, alcohol is a huge, huge, huge factor in people's theatre etiquette. Like, some people, they go out and they get drunk and then they go to a theatre and then they buy more alcohol in the theatre and carry on drinking, which makes them get absolutely legless. To the point where they start to disrupt the audience, and I feel like that this is what these two women did at the Bodyguard. I feel like they went out, had a numerous amount of cocktails, then went into the theatre, bought a load of bottle of wines, and yeah, wine, a load of bottles of wine. That made no sense. I really need to learn how to speak. At this point, I do. But the main thing is alcohol, and I cannot stress it enough. Personally, for me, I feel like alcohol should be banned in theatres, or if you plan to drink, you should be able to purchase, like, drink tokens when you purchase the tickets, and that is all you're allowed to buy. That's how I personally feel it is. And I also feel like if the front of house staff think you are too drunk to be admitted into the theatre, you shouldn't be admitted at all. That's how I see it. I think you shouldn't be admitted and you should get your ticket fully refunded. And come another time and hopefully learn from that. That's how I feel it should be. Or alcohol just not being served in a theatre whatsoever. That's how I feel like it should be, because it is a huge factor in people feeling the need to be absolute arseholes. And here comes the dog. Come on then. Come say hello. Here he is. Do you want to get in on the rant? Do you want to get in on it? Yeah? Okay. You can sit on my knee then. Ugh. Little Gizmo, everyone. He has to get in on every video. Don't you, mate? Yeah, you do. Yeah. Alright. Can Mummy carry on? Can Mummy carry on? Can Mummy carry on? Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Go on. You go on the couch. Good boy. Anyway. Oh. Oh, this dog. This dog. Taking me off subject. Do you not want Mummy to talk about theatre etiquette? Is that it? Is that it? Do you not want me to talk about this? Well, I need to. It needs addressing. It does. It needs addressing. Anyway, as I was saying, alcohol is a huge factor. It is a huge factor, and it will always remain a huge factor because once there is alcohol in your system, no one seems to be able to control their actions. And that, for me, is just wrong. It is just wrong. Like, because you're normal. Anyway, I need to wrap this up before the dog disrupts me anymore. So, I'm going to just say, alcohol plays a huge factor. And people should be able to control themselves when they drink. They should know when enough's enough. They should know their limits. Like, I've been to a theatre before now. On my 21st, I had a glass of wine. One glass, can I say? One. And yeah, I had one drink before the show. One. Which you saw in the clip. Which you physically saw in the clip. My godmother took me for a Mad Hat's tea party. And she wouldn't shut up until I had it. So we went and got one of them before the show. Now, for me, I can personally handle my alcohol. I only had 2 drinks that night, and I managed to control myself. And bearing in mind, it was Bat of Hell, so there was people being absolute arseholes. And that's how I feel like it is with jukebox musicals. Excuse me. Because I've been talking for so long, my throat has gone dry, which is making me cough. Should have probably got a glass of water to drink whilst filming this, but we move. We know me, I love a bit of chaos. Anyway, I mean, I love a bit of chaos in myself. I am chaotic. Have you finished? The dog has decided he wants to bury himself under a blanket. So, yeah, that's highly distracting. I don't know if you can see this. In fact, you know what? We need a laugh in this video. Oh, well. So, I've now just immaculately changed locations because my phone decided to run out of storage. So, I had to come upstairs to basically grab my other phone to finish this video. So, I thought, you know what? We might as well just finish it up here. And Gizmo is still being chaotic. He's still trying to knock the camera over. So, yeah. But, as I was saying, alcohol is definitely a huge factor. Like, either learn to control it or just don't drink it at all. Because, quite frankly, people just don't know how to control themselves when alcohol is involved. But, yeah. I've covered everything that I wanted to say in this video. And that is the last I'm going to say on the matter. Unless a on-air apology comes out, and then when it does, I will, of course, address that on social media, because I do highly think that an on-air apology is needed for people who don't use social media. Gizmo, stop. Sorry, the dog's deciding he wants to just knock the camera over, so I better wrap this up very, very quickly. So, yeah. That is it from me. Sorry this turned into a rant, but if you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all soon for another video. Bye, guys.